Wow. I need like a good morning. No, I can't. No, I can't do that. I can't have somebody else entering my stream.
Better yet, I got a genuine statement. Ladies, if you are so much of a pathetic waste of space human being that the only way that you can be successful and make a living for yourself is by degrading yourself, getting naked, and charging dudes $5 to come to you, nobody gives a fuck about your political opinions. So stop posting them and just keep being a whore, because nobody cares. You being a whore on the internet does not give you any credibility in the political space. Nobody gives a fuck about your opinion. Just keep sucking and shutting the fuck up. Thank you very much. All right, great. Yeah, these people need to shut the fuck up, man. It's crazy. These people, they pull out their and all of a sudden they think people care about their opinions. It's insane, bro. It's so embarrassing. Better yet, I got a genuine statement. Ladies, if you are so much of a pathetic...
I don't even disagree. You know what? You know what? How about a trade? As long as like 99% of YouTubers and streamers stop giving their opinions on politics as well, then we got a deal, okay? Jesus. Wow.
Liberals used to... Liberals used to stand for things. But now it seems like all we do is stand against them.
President Biden has said he's not sure he'd run for president if Donald Trump wasn't running too.
I want to do something different. My name's Jerusalem Demsis. I'm an opinion journalist. I'm launching a new media company called The Argument. We're not just gonna explain, we're gonna persuade. We're not just gonna diagnose the problem, we're gonna fight for the solutions. But let's rewind. In 1955, the conservative public intellectual William F. Buckley said that conservatism stands athwart history, yelling stop. But when I look around at the political landscape today, it's not conservatives I mainly see yelling stop. It's liberals.
Pushback against offshore wind projects.
We want to stop it.
A majority of residents in the Hacienda Heights community say they are against these housing plans.
We don't want this here.
Liberals find ourselves feeling like the world is moving too quickly. Like we can't even get a handle on everything that's going on. Like, dear God, please, just make it stop. Liberalism deserves better. Look at its record. American independence was founded on liberal principles. Those same values inspired revolutionaries and reformers around the world. Liberal economics built modern industrial prosperity, and it created the social safety net that made sure that we could take care of people who could not take care of themselves. Liberalism is why we have Social Security, clean water, and workplace safety regulations. And liberal principles are the reason why we are the only nation in the world to define ourselves not just by where we come from, but what we believe in. Don't just take it from me. Abraham Lincoln, famously a Republican, once said that immigrants could claim the Declaration of Independence as though they were blood of the blood and flesh of the flesh of the men who wrote it. Trump and the MAGA coalition are engaged in a reactionary project to remake...
What? This only been 2 minutes? It feels like I've been watching it for 10 minutes. Okay, listen, the messaging in all this video sounds based, but oh my God, is it fucking Vox coded so hard. Just the presentation is so Vox coded. I don't know why or how or what does it, or if it's like the little, like the synth pluck strings and then the edits or whatever. It is so Vox coded, and it's making me hate this. But everything she's saying is based.
America into a tribalistic, isolated,
oh, she's from Vox. Okay.
and ultimately poorer version of itself. They're using tariffs to destroy the economic interdependence that made America wealthy through trade and alliances.
In another new era of Trump tariffs.
They're bringing back old world levels of corruption right in front of our eyes.
A $400 million payoff bribe from a nation overseas.
And they're persecuting Americans for exercising their basic freedoms.
The abduction of Mahmoud Khalil.
That should be a cause for concern for any American who believes in free speech, who believes in due process.
When the post-liberal right describes the nation they're seeking to build, they're not talking about what made America...
What's the music called? Oh, you can like, it might be technically called pizzicato. When you pluck strings, it makes it just like a certain type of sound. I just feel like pluck strings are very common in like the, here's like a political video. Like this kind of stuff. Wait, am I retarded? I thought they actually plucked the strings. Oh, she's kind of doing it. Oh, but not on the fret, or not. This isn't the fretboard. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. Never mind. I'm being retarded. Blip, 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 blip. There's just a sound. There's just a certain sound that it produces. It's not this. What the fuck is this?
Keck.
Great. They're talking about what made other nations weak. They think the circumstances of your birth should determine your destiny. They think
whoa, name drop!
things about you are
I need a name drop sound effect for the guy.
unchangeable and hereditary.
From Africa, from Asia, all over the world, they're pouring into our country. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
That's such a crazy phrase. Why would you even have that combination of words? Why would you even have that combination of words in your mind?
America is for Americans and Americans only.
We on the right, on the sort of the post-liberal right or the new right, or however we want to define what it is.
One of the most pressing problems for us to face is to redefine the meaning of American citizenship in the 21st century.
This is not America. And the post-liberal left is little better.
We are raising tariffs on about $18 billion worth of Chinese imports. President Biden is taking this action today to defend America's workers.
They reject the fact that many people in this country simply disagree with them. And they look down on the hard, unglamorous work of building a pluralistic society. But if liberals are going to win this fight, they've got to stop just being umpires and radio announcers. They've got to get ready to play. It's one thing to point out that AI could lead to mass unemployment, or that things have gotten way too expensive, or that young men and women just seem to hate each other. It's another, much harder thing to argue for policies and for change that can make all of this better. Because it's when you move from analysis to argument, from diagnosis to persuasion, that's when the real change happens. It's also when people get mad at you, which, we don't care. Every week on our podcast and every day on our newsletter, we're going to bring together self-described liberals, libertarians, conservatives, and socialists. I won't agree with everyone we publish, but we will only publish people who are committed to seeking truth from facts and stopping a liberalism from destroying this country. Visit theargumentmag.com today to subscribe.
Base. I will say she's fighting an uphill battle, though. Doing liberal stuff versus socialist stuff and all that, and starting off with the name Jerusalem. That's a wild name, but cool. I feel like in Israel, you can name yourself after like any Jew shit. Like Israel is a real name. I think you can just name your person like Israel. That could be your name. Jerusalem could be a name. The fuck?
Remember back in 2016 when Hillary Clinton warned that Donald Trump would start a war?
1.11 million subs. Why do I get the impression that somebody took like JJ McCullough and then American made him, and this is what we got? Not that that's bad. I get that vibe. I don't know why.
The way that he posted on Twitter. She wasn't exactly right, but she was close. Because Donald Trump has gotten in the way of wars being ended with his insane posts. Would you
want to talk to Michael Tracy about Russiagate? You came up at the end of his podcast with P.F. Young. If he wanted to, I don't know what we would talk about, but it sounded like he maybe agreed with my point. I'm not sure.
He just saw a complete meltdown on Truth Social ahead of his meeting with President Zelensky and numerous European leaders tomorrow, in which he is blowing up a potential peace deal by attacking Zelensky and losing his mind. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into the insane Trump post about Zelensky, I want to start with the post he made right before, attacking Senator Chris Murphy. And before that, we need a bit of context with Murphy's call out of Trump.
Initially said he wanted a ceasefire agreement. Now he wants a broader peace deal. Secretary Rubio defending that approach, basically saying the Russians wouldn't agree to a ceasefire. Do you think that it's the right strategy to now focus on that broader?
Fuck me, dude. J.K. Rowling naming the only pedophile in Hogwarts.
peace deal.
That meeting was a disaster. It was an embarrassment for the United States. It was a failure. Putin got everything he wanted. I mean, first of all, he wanted that photo op, right? He wanted to be absolved of his war crimes in front of the world. He was invited to the United States. War criminals are not normally invited to the United States of America. He is intentionally murdering civilians. He's kidnapping children. And now he got to stand next to the president of the United States, legitimized in the view of the world. Second.
What's my tolerance today for this? War criminal doesn't really mean much to the U.S. I feel like war crimes are generally laid out in the Rome Statute and the ICC. The United States is not a signatory to the ICC, to the Rome Statute. We're not part of the International Criminal Court. The only reason I say this is because it's a very easy counter to this. Like, the United States doesn't invite war criminal. Technically, Netanyahu, did they actually issue those ICC warrants, or were they still requesting the ICC warrants? I'm just saying, I know that the term war criminal doesn't mean anything, like, logically, it's just like a thing we use when we don't like people now. But I feel like you're walking into that.
He didn't have to give up anything, nothing, right? President Trump said he wanted a ceasefire. It appears the ceasefire wasn't even seriously discussed. And then third, there's no consequences. Trump said, if I don't get a ceasefire, Putin's going to...
To be fair, they probably didn't have time to discuss the ceasefire because they were too busy with Putin giving Trump ideas for how to win the upcoming election. Apparently, Putin has now given him the idea of getting rid of mail-in ballots completely.
Going to pay a price. And then he walked out of that meeting saying, I didn't get a ceasefire, I didn't get a peace deal, and I'm not even considering sanctions. You heard Secretary Rubio downplay sanctions. And so Putin walks away with his photo op, with zero commitments made and zero consequences. What a great day for Russia.
So as you can imagine, Senator Murphy landing that brutal blow, perfectly diagnosing what happened with Trump and Putin, that this was simply a photo op for Putin to legitimize his war crimes, while Donald Trump got to pretend that he was a strong, tough guy, even though he looked weak and pathetic, which is exactly what he is. Yes, that would upset Donald Trump. So he took those tiny little thumbs to Truth Social, starting out his midnight meltdown saying this about Chris Murphy. Trump wrote, the very unattractive, both inside and out, Senator from Connecticut, Chris Murphy, said Putin got everything that he wanted. Actually, nobody got anything. Too soon, but getting close. Murphy is a lightweight who thinks it made the Russian president look good in coming to America. Actually, it was very hard for Putin to do so. This war can be ended now, but stupid.
Why was it hard for him to come to America? Wait, hard how? Your likes on Insta Reels are both unhinged and, I only like the best of the best of the best.
People like Chris Murphy, John Bolton, and others make it much harder to do so. Yeah, so how is it difficult for Putin? Because you haven't explained that part yet. It's funny that Trump mentions John Bolton, because that's who was most vocal in pointing out the fact that Trump was quite tired and feeble and falling apart at his summit with Putin, which might be part of the reason that the cavalry is coming to town. Actual adults are showing up in Washington tomorrow. An announcement made by numerous European leaders that has led to the...
Name two things you know about Connecticut. I believe Connecticut has the largest casino in the United States. Because I think I went there to play there once. Is the Foxwoods? Am I making that up? Is that a real place? And then, what's one other thing I can think about Connecticut? I don't think I know anything else about Connecticut. I don't know the capital. I don't think I can name a single city in Connecticut. I don't know. I literally I don't know a single person from Connecticut. I don't think I know a single thing about this state at all. Oh, is Yale in Connecticut? Oh my God. Oh, I've been there. Whoops. Oh, I don't know. I must have driven, I guess. Do you know what New Hampshire is? Oh, I don't know anything about New Hampshire either. Or Maine. I don't know. Or Vermont. I don't know any city. I don't know anything about any of these states. What? Wait, what happens up there? What's going on way up there? I went to Yale, like I did a thing, not like I went there, like it's my alma mater. Sorry.
The Trump posting meltdown. I want to start with the news before we see Trump freak out.
Oh, Dartmouth. I was up there too in New Hampshire. I feel like I've driven up there doing stuff, but I don't know what actually comes from up there, okay?
Announcement made by numerous European leaders that has led to the Trump posting meltdown. I want to start with the news before we see Trump freak out. European leaders to join Ukraine's Zelensky for meeting with Trump. European and NATO leaders announced Sunday they will join President Volodymyr Zelensky in Washington to present a united front in talks with Donald Trump on ending Russia's...
Volodymyr?
They will join President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Is that how we say that now? Volodymyr?
In Washington to present a united front in talks with Donald Trump on ending Russia's war in Ukraine and firming up U.S. security guarantees now on the negotiating table. Leaders from Britain, France, Germany, Italy, and Finland are rallying around the Ukrainian president after his exclusion from Trump's summit on Friday with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Their pledge to be at Zelensky's...
Wait, what? Is he misspeaking?
After his exclusion from Trump's summit on Friday with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Their pledge to be at Zelensky's side at the White House.
This guy was like, one take. That's all I'm doing. I don't give a fuck. The editor can clean it up. Clean it up in post.
On Monday is an apparent
We got
effort to
AI
ensure
now.
the meeting goes better than the last one in February when Trump berated Zelensky in a heated Oval Office encounter. The European leaders are very afraid of the Oval Office scene being repeated, and so they want to support Mr. Zelensky to the hilt, said retired French general, a former head of France's military mission at the United Nations. So European leaders are coming to town to make sure Donald Trump does not screw this thing up, which is seeming like what he is inclined to do, and that would be no surprise to anyone. But he's not.
Fun fact, Maine used to be a part of Massachusetts during the Revolutionary War, but got independence as part of the Missouri Compromise. That sounds like the fakest thing in the world. Is that true? And Maine as a free state. Oh. Okay.
Waiting until tomorrow to do so. His attacks on Zelensky have already begun. He is making wild announcements, blowing up this deal. It's exactly what you'd expect, and we can see it right here. In a string of posts, Trump wrote, President Zelensky of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. Remember how it started. No getting back Obama.
Explosions tonight rock the Odessa Oblast of southern Ukraine as Russia launches a large drone attack against cities and infrastructure sites across the eastern regions of Ukraine ahead of tomorrow's meetings at the White House between U.S. President Donald J. Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Man, they do be watermarking their shit hardcore.
If the peace deal.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have the president of Ukraine with us. We've had a lot of good discussions, a lot of good talks, and I think progress is being made, very, very substantial progress in many ways. We had a good meeting, as you know, just a short while ago with the president of Russia, and I think there's a possibility that something could come out of it, and today's meeting is very important. We have, I guess, the seven very powerful leaders from Europe, and we're going to be meeting with them right after this meeting, and thank you very much for being here.
Thanks so much, Mr. President. If I can, first of all, thank you for invitation.
Oh, thank you. Gotta say thank you.
And thank you very much for your efforts, personal efforts to stop killings and stop this war. Thank you. And using this opportunity, many thanks to your wife, First Lady of the United States. She sent a letter to Putin about our children, adopted children, and my wife, she, First Lady of Ukraine. She gave the letter. It's not to you, to your wife.
I want
Yeah. So we're saying this sensitive topic. Yeah, please. And thanks to our partners and that you supported this format. And after our meeting, we can have leaders who are around us: UK, France, Germany, Italy, Finland, EU, NATO. I mean, all partners around Ukraine supporting us. Thanks to them, and thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you very much for being here.
President Trump.
Do you think it's fair?
Yes, Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. So, President Zelensky, you say in the Post on X today, Russia must end this war, which it itself started. President Trump, you say President Zelensky of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, which is.
No, I think that's true. I think we're going to have a meeting. I think if everything works out well today, we'll have a trilat, and I think there will be a reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that.
And, is this the end of the road for American support for Ukraine?
Wait, reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that.
And,
Was that a dear leader? Your joke was so funny. Wait, what was that?
Is this the end of the road?
And I think there will be a reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that.
And, is this the end of the road for American support for Ukraine? Is today's meeting deal or no deal?
I can never say that. It's never the end of the road. People are being killed, and we want to stop that. So I would not say it's the end of the road. No, I think we have a good chance of doing it. It's been almost.
Could you imagine if he was president in the 80s? Gorbachev, I need you to consider in 2 weeks making the framework for having a discussion for us to finally be able to get on the path to making an agreement in 4 years to remove to put a door in the wall. Like, oh my God.
4 years now that a lot of people were killed last week. A lot of people last week. I mean, millions of people killed, but a lot of people last week for whatever reason. A big number, a lot of soldiers, on both sides. And I know the president, I know myself, and I believe Vladimir Putin wants to see it ended.
And as you met with Putin on Friday, today you got President Zelensky here. As you listen to Russia and Ukraine, which side has the better cards?
Well, I don't want to say that. I'm just here to be. Look, this isn't my word.
What are these fucking retarded questions? Did he just say which side has the cards? We're using Trump vocab now? We're speaking Trump language?
Russia and Ukraine, which side has the better cards?
Well, I don't want to say that. I'm just here to be. Look, this isn't my war. This is Joe Biden's war.
Where is Joe Biden in the room with us right now?
He's the one that.
How many times are you gonna bring his name up? I need a Joe Biden sound clip too.
Had a lot to do with this happening.
I'm asking. I'm never gonna remember where all these are. So.
And we want to get it ended, and we want it to end good for everybody. We want it to end good. The people of Ukraine have suffered incredibly.
President Zelensky, are you prepared to keep sending Ukrainian troops to their deaths for another couple of years, or are you going to agree?
Who is this guy? I'm sorry, I just need to know which. Is this OAN or is this Newsmax or who's the guy here? What is this? Sounds like Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend.
To redraw the maps.
Thank you for your question. So, first of all, we live.
Are you going to agree to redraw the maps?
Thank you for your question.
I love the dichotomy there. Are you going to continue to sacrifice young Ukrainians to die over and over again? Or are you going to finally redraw maps? It's just like a cute thing. You're just redrawing maps, not a big deal, right? Just redrawing maps.
So, first of all, we live under each day attacks. That today have been a lot of attacks and a lot of wounded people, and the child was that small one year and a half. So we need to stop this war, to stop Russia, and we need support, American and European partners, and we will do our best for this. So, and I think we show that we are strong people, and we supported the idea of the United States, personally of President Trump, to stop this war, to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war, and we are ready for...
Oh, wait, for the guy that emails me, I just need a ding. I need a ding sound, like a ding, every time he says Joe Biden. I just need this. What's the sound? It's not going to be this.
Trilateral, as President said, this is a good signal about trilateral. I think this is very good. Thank you.
If the peace deal will be achieved, are you going to be willing to send American peacekeepers to Ukraine?
No. Why do we ask any? What's even the point of asking any questions? He's not going to answer any of these questions. We don't. Has he ever answered a question? Like,
work with Ukraine. We're going to work with everybody, and we're going to make sure that if there's peace, the peace is going to stay long term. This is very long term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace, and then we end up in this mess again. We're going to make sure that everything's good. We'll work with Russia. We're going to work with Ukraine, and we're going to make sure it works. And I think if we can get to peace, it's going to work. I have no doubt about it.
Your team has talked about security guarantees. Could that involve U.S. troops? Would you roll that out in the future?
There's no answer. There's no answer to any questions. Is it this? No. What? Stop.
We'll let you know that maybe later today. We're meeting with 7 great leaders of great countries also, and we'll be talking about that. They'll all be involved, but there'll be a lot of help. When it comes to security, there's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're there. They're Europe, but we're going to help them out also.
Thank you. You need to. Jesus.
We'll be involved.
That's that one. Why? Oh my God, the background noise is so loud in this.
Vladimir Putin mentioned that the war will not end without addressing the root causes of this war. Have you had an understanding what are the root causes of this war?
Well, look, the war's going to end. When it ends, I can't tell you, but the war is...
Thank you for understanding time and causality. That is true. The war will end at some point. Now, when will it end? I don't know. But there's only so much hydrogen that can be fused in the middle of our star. There's only so long that life can carry on this planet. At some point, this war will be over.
It's going to end, and this gentleman wants it to end, and Vladimir Putin wants it to end. I think the whole world is tired of it, and we're going to get it ended. It was, I've done 6 wars. I've ended 6 wars, and I thought this maybe would be the easiest one, and it's not the easiest one. It's a tough one. A lot of reasons for it, and they'll be talking about it for a long time, but they'll be talking about the others. Look, India, Pakistan, we're talking about the big places. When you look at, you just take a look at some of these wars. You go to Africa and take a look at that. Rwanda and the Congo, Republic of the Congo. That's been going on for 31 years. And so we've done a total of 6, and we really have 6, not including the fact that we obliterated, and it turned out to be a total obliteration, the nuclear, as you said, the future nuclear capability of Iran. And this one, I think we're going to get solved also. I feel confident we're going to get it solved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can you tell us about your conversations with European leaders and what they need to see to support an end to the war?
Yeah, well, we're going to be meeting with a great representative group and 7 very powerful, very big countries and great people, all friends of mine and friends of yours. And we're going to have some suggestions made. They want to see peace. They would like to see peace.
President
In the red.
President Trump, do you think it's fair to, for Ukraine and for Russia to achieve?
Is there another thing to listen to? This.
If he didn't come.
This audio is too much for me. It's exploding my ears every time it plays.
They don't even write about that. No matter what I do, no matter what. That's the one that attacked you last time.
Yes.
See, that was
I remember that. I apologize to you. You look wonderful. No, my first question for you, President Zelensky.
In the same suit. You see, I changed. You are not.
Maybe yours is better. Real quickly, upon peace, God willing we get peace, are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety in circumstances. And a little bit, we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, maybe, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, in the sea, yeah, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake
You like this idea?
Yeah. No. Speaking of news, I got a question for you. This sounds insane for me even to ask this, but do you think the American media really doesn't even want a peace deal because they seem they've been so critical of you every step of the way as you lead the charge for peace?
It's an amazing phenomenon. I said that if in the settlement you got Moscow, St. Petersburg, and thousands of miles around them, they would say I made a bad deal. The level of hatred and animosity is incredible.
Did you catch that? No, hold on.
I say every step of the way as you lead the charge for peace. Deal because they seem they've been so critical of you every step of the way as you lead the charge for peace.
It's an amazing phenomenon. I said that if in the settlement you got Moscow, St. Petersburg, and thousands of miles around them, they would say
legal elections.
So you say during the war you can.
We have to do safety in circumstances, and a little bit we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, maybe, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, in the sea, yeah, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake.
You like this idea?
Yeah. No. Speaking of news, I got a question for you. This sounds insane for me even to ask this, but do you think the American media really doesn't even want a peace deal?
Fucking Zelensky, this fucking piece of shit. Why is he giving Trump ideas?
Because they seem they've been so critical of you every step of the way as you lead the charge for peace.
It's an amazing phenomenon. I said that if in the settlement you got Moscow, St. Petersburg, and thousands of miles around them, they would say I made a bad deal. The level of hatred and animosity is incredible. Not with all. I mean, we have great people up here. We also have terrible people up there that I think are told what to say. But, in solving all of these wars, they don't even write about it. I saw major wars. I saw wars that have been going on for 31, 35, and 37, and a couple of quicker ones. One that was going to go into a full-blown deal very quickly. The one I'm talking about was a big one. But they don't even write about that. No matter what I do, no matter what, and this is not anything to do with you. It's probably to your advantage in a certain way. But no matter what I do, no matter what deal I make, from my standpoint, you'll come out good. Maybe President Putin will come out good. But they'll say Trump was absolutely horrible. It's just that, and I've lived with that for a long time. I've lived with it since just before the first election. I used to get great publicity. Now I get the worst publicity anyone's ever gotten in office, but I won in a landslide, so the people understand. They're the only ones that count.
Landslide.
But I've also had great reporters. I've had journalists that are very good. But it's very sad when you do the right thing. As an example, they said, because of the fact that Vladimir Putin came to American soil, this was a tremendous defeat for Donald Trump. No, it was really wonderful that he did it. It was a hard thing for him to do, to be honest with you.
Oh my God, are we going to figure out why it was a hard thing for him to do?
It was the opposite of what they said, but they said it. Now, if he didn't come, they'd say that was also bad for Trump. Yeah, there's no way. And there's just a great dishonesty of the press, and I think that's why it's lost its credibility. Its credibility is at an all-time low. We have a thing going on right now in D.C. We went from the most unsafe place anywhere to a place that now friends are calling me up, Democrats are calling me up, and they're saying, sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years. And Washington, D.C. is safe. And you did that in 4 days.
He fixed all the crime in 4 days. Can we get this guy on homelessness next? Zero illegal immigration, zero crime, 12 wars fixed, hundreds of trillions of dollars being raised in tariffs, no debt, no deficit, landslide electoral wins, third term incoming.
I'll tell you, it's safe. I had another friend of mine. He has a son who's a great golfer. He's on tour. And he came in fourth yesterday in the big tournament where Scotty Scheffler made the great shot. And he said his son is going to dinner in Washington, D.C. tonight. I said, would you have allowed that to happen a year ago? He said, no way, no way. He said, what you've done is incredible. And I think the people realize it. But the press says, he's a dictator. He's trying to take over. No, all I want is security for our people. But people that haven't gone out to dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2 years are going out to dinner. And the restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time.
Sir, I walked around yesterday with MTG. If you can walk around with DC with MTG and not be attacked, the city is safe.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last week you warned of what you called severe consequences if a 30-day ceasefire or any type of ceasefire were not agreed to by Russia. Will there be severe consequences? Does that change because of
I don't think you need a ceasefire. You know, if you look at the 6 deals that I settled this year, they were all at war. I didn't do any ceasefires. And I know that it might be good to have, but I can also understand strategically why, well, you know, one country or the other wouldn't want it. You have a ceasefire and they rebuild and rebuild and rebuild, and, you know, maybe they don't want that. But if you look at the 6 deals that we made peace, and you know, long-term, long-running wars, I didn't do any ceasefires. Would I like the concept? You know, I like the concept of a ceasefire for one reason, because you'd stop killing people immediately, as opposed to in 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it takes. But we can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop. But strategically, that could be a disadvantage for one side or the other. But all of these deals I made without even the mention of the words ceasefire.
President Zelensky, can you explain the decision to offer Ukraine Article 5-like security guarantees, but stop short of pushing for their full membership?
Yeah, well, we haven't done anything on that yet. If you look back, and you go back long before President Putin, it was always a statement that they would never allow Ukraine into NATO. So that was a statement that was made, but we haven't discussed any of that yet. We're going to be discussing it today, but we will give them very good protection, very good security. That's part of it. And the people that are waiting for us, they are, I think they're very like-minded. They want to...
This is every time you have a Trump question. This is like when I'm like, maybe ask me later. Maybe ask me tomorrow about that. Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll do this. Ask me later.
They want to help out also.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President Trump. The United States has already given hundreds of billions of dollars to this war effort in Ukraine. At best, it is a stalemate, and the killing continues. So, President Trump, how much more is the United States willing to give Ukraine? And President Zelensky, how much more do you want?
Well, I'll start off just by saying we're not giving anything now. We're selling weapons. This is something before, I guess the number is well over $300 billion. That was under Joe Biden, a corrupt politician. Not a smart man, never was. By the way, go back 40 years, he was not a smart man 40 years ago either. But now he's in particular
Biden counter, incremented.
This was done by a corrupt administration that shouldn't have been in. And frankly, if the right results of the election were given, if I were president, this war would have never taken place. And he would have been very happy, because he would have liked to have seen. I mean, they went through hell. He went through hell. This war would have never happened. And the people that were killed, a couple of million people, a lot of people with soldiers and everything else, and the people that have been displaced and forced into other areas and other countries because of what's happened.
Why does he hate Biden so much? The guy's literally fucking dying. No, whoa. Donald Trump does not hate Biden. He doesn't bring up Biden because he hates him. He brings up Biden because he doesn't want any accountability for any of his failures. The goal is to take credit for as much as he can and to shift the blame, to pass the buck on as much as he can. So if he thinks that there is something going wrong, he'll try to blame it on somebody else. If there's something going well, he'll try to take credit for it.
None of that would happen. And I'm just saying that he was a horrible president. Whether it was the borders or this, he was just a horrible, corrupt president.
Mr. President, I can. Thanks so much. So first of all, we have possibility now to buy weapons from the United States. We're thankful for this program and this opportunity. We're thankful for Europe. They pay for this. And through NATO program, for example, Pearl and etc., we have some programs where we can have some money to finance this. And this is a part, I think, it's not a part for the war and to defend us. It also will be a part for security guarantees, to strengthen our army, to rearm Ukrainian army. This is very, very important. And it depends how much money we need to rearm. For example, the question of air defense, we spoke about it with President Trump, and I'm happy that we have now bilateral decisions and we work on it with production, American production. Nobody in Europe has so many air defense like Patriots, for example. We need it very much, and this is also about defending.
I think the good news, we make the best military equipment in the world by far. You mentioned the Patriots. How good are they?
Systems.
We have systems, they're literally 100% foolproof. And it's really like shooting two bullets. You know, two bullets hitting each other in the air in a space like this. The chance is 100%. It's 99 to 100%. So we sell the equipment to NATO. And NATO does what, I don't know what the arrangement is that you have with, but I know that they want you to have the equipment. And we're getting the best equipment in the world, but they pay us for the equipment. Under Biden, it was just crazy what was going on. I believe the number is over 300. I think it could be $350 billion worth of equipment and money and everything else. And we've made more progress in settling this war in the last 2 months.
I love how he like offers his expert opinion on things without having like any subject matter expertise, like not even peripheral, not even on the outer perimeter of knowledge. Like imagine you show up and I don't even know. Like imagine going to some fucking factory where they produce chemicals and the guy's like, oh, this baby over here could do 400 gallons per second of nitrous injection. And like I look at him like, looks to me, I'm guessing I probably do over 450. And it's like, do you even know what that is? Nope. I have no idea. I just feel like you do over. Like, I love how he always has like those job numbers, I think they're even higher, to be honest. Who the fuck are you to think anything? You don't think thoughts at all. You're actually a fucking retard. Why? Like, I love how he just like casually like, I think we probably gave you more. How the fuck do you know? What do you mean you think we gave more? What number do you think we gave? Based on what information, Donnie?
$1 worth of equipment and money and everything else. And we've made more progress in settling this war in the last 2 months than they made in 4 years. This should have been settled a long time ago, but it should have never happened. Yeah, please.
You pushed out on social media.
All right, Brian, go first.
You pushed out on social media about doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you expand on that? How important?
Well, that's a very off topic. Just really quickly, mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have.
This is coming right. Your whole gastrointestinal tract goes up through your mouth, right? This is fucked into his ass from Putin, and it's coming out of his mouth now like it's his own thought here. Putin, 100%, I would bet my life on it. Feds, come to my house and arrest me right now if I'm wrong, okay? Secret Service, I guarantee you that Putin fucked this talking point into Trump, guaranteed, about the mail-in ballots, 100 trillion%. He said it was, oh wait, did he just say it was good? Sorry.
On social media about doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you expand on that? How important?
Well, that's a very off topic. Just really quickly, mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as
it was after the summit now.
The Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now.
Oh, did he actually say this? Wait, I just read that quote. No shot. Hold on.
Vladimir Putin said something. One of the most interesting things. Vladimir Putin said something. One of the most interesting things. He said your election was rigged because you have mail-in voting. He said mail-in voting every election.
He's so fucking funny. I know what's going on here. He's trying to get me to Fed post. He thinks he can bait me. He thinks he can bait me into Fed posting. He thinks he can bait me to Fed posting for taking the advice of an autocratic dictator on how our elections are rigged. And it's like, obviously, this is like probably the most treasonous dipshit fucking thing you could ever possibly say. And then to repeat it to the American people, the only thing that can make this better is if his daughter-in-law was guest starring to interview him on this show, and it's not Hannity or whatever. I see Hannity's name on the bottom. Oh, wait, did we watch him?
He said no country has mail-in voting.
Oh, wait, fuck, we might have watched this. Wait, is this the same interview that we watched? Was this right after he did the thing?
It's impossible to
we did.
Have mail-in voting.
Sorry, I hear the same shit all the time. I just tune him out.
And have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now instead of dead. And he said, and you lost it because of mail-in voting. It was a rigged election, but mail-in.
Achieve a lasting and durable peace if Ukraine cedes its territories that Russia hasn't yet conquered. Do you think it's a fair peace for Ukraine?
We're going to have a lasting peace.
I've never been more confident that mail-in voting is secure than hearing Putin say it's rigged.
Answer the first part of your question. We're going to have a lasting peace. I hope it's going to be immediately. I hope it doesn't have to go on. And I think people in the whole world is going to be very happy when that's announced.
Mr. President, you posted on social media, Mr. President, a very touching letter from the First Lady. And the letter was hand-delivered to President Putin. And it calls for an end to the war, essentially, because of the children and the children's future. Why did the First Lady feel that letter was necessary? Was it because she believes that Mr. Putin is the aggressor in the war? Is a similar letter being hand-delivered to President Zelensky?
because his wife is probably more actually traveled and worldly and understands international shit better than he does. So every now and then she's like, Donnie, you got to do right by this one, okay? Normally I'll let you be on some fuck shit, but at least on the Ukrainian shit, come on, bro.
So the First Lady felt very strongly. She's watched the same thing that you watch and that I watch. I see things that you don't get to see, and it's horrible. But when she's got a great love of children, she has a wonderful son that she loves. Probably more than anybody, including me. I hate to say it, but She loves her son. She loves children, and she hates to see. She hates
Bro, this Twitter account. Who's running this? You're speed running this into way too edgy territory, way too fast, okay? You gotta chill. This account's gonna be making pedophile jokes, okay, in like a week. And then new lows unlocked by Gavin Newsom and his team of losers. You sound woke. True!
to see something like this happening, and that goes for other wars too. I mean, she sees the heartbreak.
Comedic gulp. Oh shit! I have that. Hold on. I'll get that.
Parents, the funerals that you see on television, always funerals. We want to see something other than funerals. No, she felt it was a beautiful letter. It was very well received by him. And she did ask me to say, you know, she would love to see this end. She would love to see it end. And she says it very openly, very proudly, and with great sorrow because so many people have been killed.
Last week,
Brian, go ahead, Brian.
Yes, sir, I've got a question for each of you. First of all, Mr. President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same.
Finally, some real glazing. And Trump has to get in on it. I said that first. I said that first.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I said the one that attacked you last time. See, I remember that.
Yeah, I apologize to you. You look wonderful.
Make it about me. Make it about me.
No, my first question for you, President Zelensky.
In the same suit. You see, I changed you.
Maybe yours is much better. Real quickly, upon peace, God willing to get peace, are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances. And a little bit, we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, maybe, how to say, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, and the sea, yeah, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say
we are ready.
during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake
You like
news
this
is.
idea? No.
Speaking of news, I got a question for you. This sounds insane for me even.
Sorry.
By the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt and you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them because of what's happened, massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change in the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections, we'd get much faster results. The machine.
Do they use watermarked paper ballot? Is that a thing? I feel like do any of these people vote? I'm not sure. Maybe they are. I thought they were just like things that you filled out. Oh, no. I don't know.
I mean,
maybe in some places they do.
We'll have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, many countries use paper ballots.
You can have, this is not a real, none of these arguments are real arguments, but you can count the mail-in ballots faster if you want. You can get the results the same day. However, I don't know what the reason is, but I believe that most states have a restriction so that you can't start counting the mail-in ballots until the election is over. Like either the day of or after voting is closed. If you wanted to, you could just simply change the laws in the states and start counting them early and then not release the numbers or whatever. But most states, for whatever reason, I believe they just don't have, they're just not allowed to do that.
Most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in voting, even Jimmy Carter with his commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. Because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me.
Wouldn't the easiest way to prevent voter fraud be to create some system where you can verify who you voted for after the fact? I think the big issue with that, and I don't know, this is what I've always heard, and it's compelling to me, but maybe there's a different reason. The big issue with being able to verify who you voted for is that it would make it trivial to buy mass votes. Like if I could prove to you that I voted for who you pay me to vote for, you could start buying votes en masse. Whereas right now, you could pay me for a vote, but you don't really know who I vote for. It's hard to say.
On the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I hate to take your time with this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt. When you go to a voting booth and you do it the right way and you go to a state that runs it properly, you go in. They even asked me. They asked me for my license.
Oh, it could also lead to... No, actually, I don't know if I agree with that. Someone said... Votes must be secret so people can't be pressured into voting for candidate X. Oh, no, actually, I do agree with that. Because I was going to say, I disagree. I think you should be able to pressure people in terms of voting. But I'm thinking of like public figures. If private people could be pressured, that would probably not be a good thing, right? Like imagine you've got a family and they're like, if you don't vote for this candidate, we're going to disown you. And you're like, oh, fuck, you know?
License plate for identify. I said, I don't know if I have it. He said, sir, you have to have it. I was very impressed, actually. But it's very hard to cheat. With mail-in voting, as you know what happens in California, it's so corrupt, where some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them, that we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, believe me. And the Republicans have to get smart. We're not going to have a country. I said for a long time in rallies, you need borders, and you need free and fair elections. Those two things, otherwise you don't have. We have strong borders now. In 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 1, 0, 0, and 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers, so I guess it's, but 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3, millions of people.
Is voter information not public? I thought we could look at what you voted for. No, you can look up party registration. You can look up voter information.
Poured into our country. It was terrible. Thank you very much.
What security guarantees do you need from President Trump to be able to make a deal? Is it American troops, intelligence, equipment? What is it?
Ooh, I wonder if he gives an answer.
Everything. Really, it includes two parts. First, strong Ukrainian army. That's what I began to discuss with your colleagues. And it's a lot about weapon and then people and training missions and intelligence. And second, we will discuss with our partners. It depends on the big countries, on the United States, on a lot of our friends.
Zelensky can't give any solid answers because he's not going to commit to anything. It's just going to make everybody look bad. What a waste of time meeting here.
To make American troops do that NATO-like protection in order to get President Zelensky to a deal today.
Well, I don't know if you define it that way, but NATO-like, I mean, we have people waiting in another room right now. They're all here from Europe, biggest people in Europe, and they want to give protection. They feel very strongly about it, and we'll help them out with that. I think it's very important. I think it's very important to get the deal.
You've been involved with the peacekeeping in Ukraine since your first day of the administration. What would you say to the Ukrainian people right now who are suffering under the Russian attacks and hoping that the American people will stand with them?
Well, I know Ukrainian people. I've known many over the years. They're great people. They're smart. They're energetic. They love their country. I mean, they love their country, and we want to get this war ended. That's all I can do. I love the Ukrainian people, but I love all people. I love the Russian people. I love them all. I want to get the war stopped. Very important.
Was there any aspect of your discussion with Vladimir Putin that left you disappointed?
Look, I was just telling the president, I just spoke to President Putin indirectly, and we're going to have a phone call right after these meetings today. And we may or may not have a trilat. If we don't have a trilat, then the fighting continues. And if we do, we have a good chance. I think if we have a trilat, there's a good chance of maybe ending it. But he's expecting my call when we're finished with this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank
you. Holy shit. We're getting a behind the scenes view. Oh, well, fuck. Do you think this thing labeled pipes is just actually this stupid fucking pipe sound? Good one. My boom. Air horn. Okay. Danger alarm. What is this? Okay. And then I have one called gagging on it. That's what we need. President Trump. Trump, please. Okay. They have a meeting with all the big European leaders for this. I imagine that meeting is going to be behind closed doors, right? Anything important mentioned during the meeting? No, we don't talk about important things at press conferences because Trump doesn't know enough to do anything about anything. So, okay, who is what happened with this guy? What's going on? You look so sad.
Hello, this is the first video that I am recording.
Is this real Do you think this is real depth of field, or do you think this is digitally done? I think it's digital. Because it's too even, right? Or do you know? What do you think?
Actually, my first time in front of a camera in 1 month. And as many of you know, last month on July 13th, there was some very...
Damn, this guy went through third puberty. What the fuck?
Sensitive and very serious information that...
Wait, what did we... Voice of reason. We covered something about this guy. What happened? Alex, I'm old enough for your grandma, so here's my grandmotherly advice. Satan took you out of the race because someone with your gifts and talents is a huge threat to his plan to bring down the church that Jesus Christ started. So get right back up, forgive yourself, and get right back into the race and tell people the truth and bring them to conversion to Jesus and his one holy Catholic and apostolic church. God bless you, Alex. Based Catholic representation. Hell yeah.
Was being circulated on social media about me, which included very serious allegations that were made against me. And I want to address it for the first time in a video for all of you.
Wait, what happened?
Before I do, though, I just quickly want to thank everyone that has reached out to me in the last month. Many of you have...
Who is this? I don't know. I feel like we covered this guy, but I don't remember. Minecraft YouTuber? It's always the Minecraft YouTubers.
Reached out to me privately to express not only your love and support, your concern, but also letting me know that you are praying for me and letting me know how much the work that we've done here in this ministry has helped you. And I just want to thank all of you who took the time to reach out to me, to just check on me, to make sure that I'm okay. That really means a lot to me. I know I wasn't able to get back to everybody, but I want everybody to know that from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you and I'm so grateful to everyone. But we have to address the allegations because there were very serious allegations that were made against me last month. And first and foremost, I need to address the most serious of the...
They accused him of being a pedophile and grooming some people he worked in the church with. He's a Catholic YouTuber. Oh no.
Welcome back to Shem's Potpourri. I'm Joe Heschmeyer, and today I think it's important to talk about some of the allegations involving Alex Gerardo, better known online as Voice of Reason. Now...
No. Okay. Let's go. My Catholic brother, you got this. He's going to watch him thread the needle on this. He's going to get it. We got it.
These allegations, which is that 10 years ago when I would have been 20 years old when this was alleged to have occurred.
10 years ago. Okay. 10 years ago? Come on. Really?
That I was involved in a inappropriate sexual relationship with someone who is underage. And I want to immediately just come out and let everybody know that this is not true. This is false. And the reason that I actually have been silent.
Is he the Jubilee guy? What, like he's been on Jubilee? Or do you mean he's the guy that sits in front of the camera and reads at the end or whatever? No, that guy's got a way higher voice.
This month, for an entire month, is because of the serious nature of that allegation, because I am being accused of something criminal. We had to get law enforcement involved. We had to get lawyers involved. And even though I wanted...
You debated him. Was he on my show? I don't remember this guy.
To make this video a lot sooner, my legal counsel advised me to not say anything just yet while everything was getting worked out. But I just want everybody to know that this very serious allegation is false. It's not true. And I want to apologize to everybody that for the last month has been so scandalized by it and has been so upset because of it. And I know that there are many people that have had a very hard time because of this. But I just want everybody to know it's not true, and we are still in the middle of a legal process, taking legal action to be able to legally clear my name so that everybody can know that this accusation is false. But that wasn't the only thing that I was accused of, because last month, along with that false accusation, there was information that had been leaked that was also circulating of private messages between me and a few different women that were of a sexual nature. And I want everyone to know, because of what I was seeing online, there are so many people that thought that those messages were messages that were to a minor. And that's false. Those messages are women that were last month, along with the middle of a legal process, taking legal action to be able to legally clear my name so that everybody can know that this accusation is false. But that wasn't the only thing that I was accused of.
Okay.
Because last month, along with that false accusation, there was information that had been leaked that was also circulating of private messages between me and a few different women that were of a sexual nature.
Okay.
And I want everyone to know, because of what I was seeing online, there are so many people that thought that those messages were messages that were to a minor, and that's false. Those messages were...
Uh-oh. Prominent Catholic apologist Alex Urado, accused of grooming teen. That makes it sound like it wasn't underage, because I feel like they would say minor if it was. And sexting women. What? This sounds awesome. Wait, is there like a Catholic debate arena? In July of 2024, Alex found himself on the debate stage in his first ever formal public debate. His opponent was none other than the greatest American Protestant debater that has ever lived, Dr. James White, who is participating in his 199th debate. In a true Rocky story, Alex defeated his much more experienced opponent in one of the most shocking upsets in the history of Catholic versus Protestant debates. Alex's fame skyrocketed after this fateful event, and he became universally recognized in the apologetics world. The Catholic Herald. What? Wait, what? Alex versus something White? What was it? James White.
I'm one of the elders here at Breathe Reformed Baptist Church, and we want to welcome you on behalf of Breathe Reformed Baptist Church.
Oh my God, he's locked the fuck in.
Thank you all for coming to this conference.
No binders. This guy's got 2 binders. He's already starting off behind.
We look forward to the events that are going to be taking place today, and we're so happy that you guys will be involved in what's going on. The event topic is why is God important? I'm getting a little heavy gain on that. The topic is why is God...
actually, that's called feedback, not gain. Thank you.
God important? And that's an important question, I think, and I think it's a question that the skeptic and even the believer, the Christian, can answer or should answer. It's an important question that we should wrestle and establish.
Third ever public debate, and his first one in person. Our second speaker...
He even asked the Thessalonians if they remember what he had told them about this man when he was with them in person. In verse 6, he mentions that they know what is restraining this man.
I'm going to be honest.
He doesn't.
I feel like we didn't study any of the New Testament past just the 4 Gospels. I think we had to memorize the order, but I don't remember any. I don't know what the fuck. They're just like letters that like Peter or some fucking loser wrote, right? Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Were those Acts of the Apostles after Jesus died? Romans, I don't know what the fuck that is. 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians. Galatians, Ephesians. I think Philippians, Colossians. 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians. Something more? And I don't know how many more. I don't know what any of these books are. I feel like we had to memorize them, but I have no idea what any of these are about. I feel like, and then like...
mention what...
Yeah, I don't even care, actually. Fuck it.
He's referring to in these verses. Revelation 13:18, John mentions the famous number of the beast, 666.
What?
But he does not tell us what or who this is referring to. In fact, John says in that verse that in order to know what this means.
Okay, I don't know why I owe this over like we're going to watch the whole thing.
That's not some external revelation. They have the scriptures, and as more and more of the apostolic written an entire chapter in a book.
Audience, but it sounds like we've gotten that in a resounding way. I just want to conclude this by giving where you can learn more about all those who are involved in this. And please correct me if anything's wrong, but breathechurch.org is this local church that's hosting us. Thanks again to our hosts. Infernomen.com sponsored myself and Alex to be here to have this lively debate. AOMIN.org is Dr. White's website, and Alex's handle is @voiceofreason_. You can find him on.
Okay.
Were not to a minor. These messages were to women, grown adult women of age. But even though that isn't anything that is illegal or criminal. It's still something that needs to be addressed because, as the public saw, I, on multiple occasions, fell into sin and gave in to the desires of my flesh.
Why do you have to address this? I feel like if anybody had an excuse to not address anything publicly, it would be a Catholic. No? Like, reconciliation is definitionally a private act of reconciliation between you and a priest. You literally go into like a little sealed room box thing, and then you talk to the guy through the thing. Why would you ever have to be public about your failings as a Catholic? That just seems like, I feel like if all the people have an excuse not to, it would be this guy, no?
And I regret to say that that is indeed true. I did fall into the sin of lust.
Nice, humble brag, bro.
And I really regret to say that...
He's like, I fell into it 12 times, sometimes more than once in the same session with multiple people.
Moments of weakness, I led others into sin. And of course, that's wrong. Of course, that is repulsive. And it's something that I am guilty of. And I want to take the time to not only apologize to all of these women that I fell into sin with, that I led into sin, but I want to apologize to everyone who saw those messages and were rightly disgusted by them because they were disgusting. I want to apologize for the scandal. I want to apologize for...
Wait, why does it... He's not a priest, right? He can bang... Oh, no, because it's wedlock. Fuck, I forget that's still a thing. Out of wedlock, my bad.
For all of the hurt that I've caused, because I have caused a lot of hurt. Simply because I fell in moments of weakness. I did hurt many people. And that is something that I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. I'm going to have to spend the rest of my life in prayer and in penance to make reparation for all of the damage that I've caused, because I've caused a lot of damage.
Is this the Catholic version of that random Muslim drama we followed for like a week that I have some stupid vague memory of, Destiny? No, because Muslims do things, they're more hardcore, okay? They're across the ocean and they're more badass, all right? This guy is like, I sexted some fucking person 10 years ago. The Muslim drama was like some dude fake married a woman to fuck her, and then I think tried to ditch her and not respond and ghost her and like fucking do that guy was way more hardcore. That was way more badass.
And I want to apologize to all of the women that I think it's fair to say that women that I was being dishonest with, women that I was using for my gratification, for my ego. I need to apologize to all of you. Again, apologize to everyone that has been scandalized by all of this.
This is sped up? Yeah. What is it? This is so awkward.
And again, apologize to everyone that has been scandalized by all of this. Because God blessed me with an opportunity to do a lot of good. And even though by His grace and with His help we have done a lot of good, I've also...
This whole thing was organized behind the scenes for weeks leading up to the allegations dropping. Damn, dude. I'm glad I have the fucking reputation for being a coomer, because I would get honeypotted so easily.
Misused the gifts that He gave me.
That's okay, though. We're a criminal.
Misused the platform that He allowed me to have.
Doesn't matter now, baby.
I used it, again, to gratify the desires of the flesh. And I'm sorry. There are many people that I need to apologize to for betraying their trust, by not being honest. Because something that I've now learned is that there is no such thing really as private sin.
Okay, this is way more boring. I don't know if there are other like Catholics trying to take this dude down. That would make it more interesting. The Muslim one was interesting though, because like the Muslim dudes were trying to take down the other Muslims. Like they were fighting for that fucking top dog spot. I don't know if other people are coming in on this guy. if Trent or whatever that one guy debated if he's made videos on this dude or not. Why was yesterday's VOD taken down? Every now and then I just like to arbitrarily private a VOD just to fuck with you personally. I have no idea. Some random shit gets private for random reasons. What, is he a cat? Does he have whiskers? Did you see Justical debate really on stream? Yeah, Justical's fucking Discord server had a mini revolt against him. Every accusation is a confession, boy. Justical is like full on defending every single thing Hassan has said, saying that it wasn't actually a threat against Hila or wasn't bad, that Hila was right to be included in it. It's just so, it's like so blatantly, obviously, just like whatever, the opposite of whatever he thinks my position is, he has to do the exact opposite. It's so fucking cringe. Did you see the voter fraud allegations Brit put out? Oh, like 10 months ago? Oh, yeah. Brittany Simon has unfortunately got brain broken over me over that. I still can't believe how stupid that was. Bro, I just don't have streamer friends. I'm glad. The one good thing that came out of the last arc was ditching 99% of my streamer friends, because streamer people are just not worth. It is crazy hanging out with like real life people and not having to wonder, like, fuck, am I getting majorly fucking backstabbed by some crazy fucking person on their YouTube channel tomorrow? Like, just not having to ever think about that. Or like when I go to talk to somebody, like, are you leaking info or gossiping to like 400 other crazy lunatics that fucking hate? It's just such a different experience. Oh my God.
Last night, it seems that his plan may be to apply some serious pressure on Zelensky today to come to an agreement, but that means that Zelensky has to agree to give up land.
Yeah, sure. Well, good morning to you and to all your listeners. I want to remind everybody that this is Joe Biden's war.
Oh, never mind.
But it's also the European Union.
Why did he say that? Well, I'm sorry. That just registered. I just like to remind everybody. I would just like to remind everybody.
Union's war. Yeah, sure. Well, good morning to you and to all your listeners. I want to remind everybody that this is Joe Biden's war, but it's also the European Union's war. So think about this. Every day, Russia sells $600 million of oil and gas. Europe is purchasing 10% of that. Europe purchases 51% of Russia's LNG. Look, we've been baby.
What, 10%? Wait, what the fuck?
Setting Europe since World War II. We have 100,000 troops. We're spending $50 billion a year there. This is the EU.
Do you even think a deal is possible? Like, the only thing that makes sense for Ukraine to accept is something with ironclad security guarantees, but it's unclear to me why Putin would agree with that. Right now, I don't know the situation on the ground in Ukraine, okay? So everything I'm saying is based off of the assumption that that Ukraine is slowly losing, but both sides would really like to not be in the war. Okay, both sides would really like to be done fighting. Okay, however, Russia really wants to keep their 5 new oblasts. Ukraine really wants to get back at least 4 of them. Okay, so the question is like, what are the off ramps, or what can you do to like what does a resolution look like? left to their own devices, right? If the whole world was deleted and it was literally just Russia and Ukraine, Russia would either continue to fight slowly, or more realistically, I think Russia would say, okay, we're done. We keep all the territory we've taken. Fuck you. And they maybe would push for more stuff like you have to disarm, you can't have some military, you can't have certain weapons, you have to make an agreement to never join any other alliance. I know I said assuming it was just a straight trade. So Russia would push more, okay? Now, we live in the real world, so there are other countries that have a stake in this. But the issue is, so one, you have the United States of America. The U.S. has no position on the Ukraine-Russia war. Trump is exclusively looking for some combination of a Nobel Peace Prize plus satisfaction for his own ego, plus getting it out of the way so that he can just do whatever else around the world that's easier. Okay, so the U.S. has no strong position on it. And unfortunately, that lack of a strong position, in my opinion, in my largely uneducated opinion, probably inhibits Europe from taking a stronger position on it as well. This is just my vibe, but when it comes to geopolitics, so like worldwide conflict and alliances and like the shifting balance of power, when it comes to geopolitics and when it comes to economics, my vibe feeling is that the rest of the world still is not accepting where America is right now and is waiting for them, we're all collectively waiting to wake up from the nightmare that is whatever the fuck Washington, D.C. is doing right now. That like tomorrow, Trump's gonna say, okay, I realize that the tariff shit was fucking retarded. I'm just forget everything. We're gonna undo all of that. And everybody else in the world would be like, you know what? We're cool. We'll move on from it. Okay, fuck it. Right? I think even Canada and Mexico, as much as I think the U.S. should be punished for it, I think even Canada and Mexico would be like, okay, yeah, we're good. You know what? U.S., Mexico, Canada, we'll just go back. Okay, we're fine. Fuck it. Whatever. People might be mad like citizens, but I think most people would be like, okay, we'll go back. So the economic stuff, I think the rest of the world wants to wake up from it. And then for Europe's security arrangements, again, I'm vibing on this. It feels like Europe still is not taking seriously the idea that we are going to have to be the masters of our own security. They're still hoping that, like, I'm somewhere in there is like the World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, First and Second Gulf War, America. Like, they're there somewhere. They just need to come out or something, and they're going to come back and do something. I don't know if Europe is fully committed yet to saying like, okay, well, this is on us and we need to figure out what we're going to do. I just don't know if that feeling is there yet. Maybe we'll find out today after the meeting between Zelensky and European leaders. But
News war. They need to be stepping up and applying pressure, not just on Zelensky, but on Russia by stop buying their fuel. I mean, how many drones would that pay? So yes, I'm afraid we're at a point that Zelensky has a choice. Does he want to keep fighting, and he's not going to win this war against Russia, or is he ready to say enough? Let's stop the killing. Let's get the children back, and that's President Trump's goal, and that would be my goal.
Well.
Where's this guy from? Roger Marshall. Senator from Kansas? Okay. Flats or drums for your wings? Flats are just better, even if you don't use the hack to eat them. People that like drums those are weird people.
When Russian leader Vladimir Putin arrived on American soil on Friday, President Trump literally rolled out the red carpet, or he didn't do it, but American service members did, welcoming the Russian dictator with handshakes and applause and smiles, even a ride in the presidential limo.
Do you think Zelensky takes a deal where Russia gets to keep all the land they took, but Ukraine joins NATO? Ukraine is not joining NATO. That's not going to happen. I don't think that's on the table at all. I don't know if any of the three sides are considering that, Ukraine, Russia, or the U.S.
Now, Trump says Putin wants peace in Ukraine. My next guest is not so sure. Joining us now live is President Trump's former Vice President, Mike Pence. Vice President Pence, thanks so much for joining us. You just heard Ambassador Witkoff say the meeting was...
Thanks for having me on, Jack.
You just heard Ambassador Witkoff say the meeting was a big success.
How do we still have all this latency for these remote interviews that mainstream media does? I wonder, I bet it's a bunch of legacy systems or shit, or there's just like some old standard that media uses. There's no excuse for this now, though. I feel like you can update your shit or something. I don't know. I doubt it's going to matter that much, but maybe there's just not a reason to do it, and it's reliable as fuck, so...
President Trump says the meeting was a 10 out of 10. What rating would you give it?
Well, first, I think the president
Zionsville? Seriously, bro?
should be commended for pursuing peace in Ukraine. This president has already secured peace agreements in Africa, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. I think he deserves credit as leader of the free world for not giving up on Ukraine, particularly, Jake, since there are many voices in and around the administration that would have cut Ukraine loose months ago. So I want to commend the president for trying to make progress. I must tell you, I would have liked to have seen a ceasefire. But the truth is that no deal is better than a bad deal. And what we heard Ambassador Wickoff describe is encouraging, that there was at least an assent in Putin's and Trump's meeting to the United States providing security guarantees. And clearly the president didn't forfeit anything having to do with America's national security or with the security of our allies in Eastern Europe in the midst of this war. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's important to remember the bad guy here is Putin. Putin launched an unprovoked, brutal invasion more than 3 years ago. I've traveled to Ukraine twice. I've literally walked the streets, seen the aftermath of that brutal invasion. And now more than ever, America and our allies need to stand strongly with Ukraine and create the conditions for a just and lasting peace.
You said last month that you thought President Trump was beginning to realize, quote,
Well, maybe that's not Lindsay. Maybe it was just a little bit like at the beginning.
Vladimir Putin doesn't want peace. Vladimir Putin wants Ukraine, unquote. As you noted, there was no ceasefire agreed to. President Trump seemed to indicate before the summit that had to happen, or he said there would be very severe consequences. Since the summit, he's dropped demands for a
Wait, what does Pence do now? He's not elected anywhere right now, is he? Just chills.
Immediate ceasefire. 5 Ukrainians were killed overnight. He's telling people, you heard Witkoff say, a peace deal, a larger peace deal, can be reached quickly if Putin's demands, which include Ukraine ceding control of the entire Donbass region to Russia, are met. What do you make of all that? I mean, there are observers out there, people who like Trump, people who are rooting for Trump, who think that Trump got played.
Well, look, I served alongside the president for 4 years. I know his style in dealing with these dictators. It's the velvet glove, but I think the hammer needs to come, and it needs to come immediately. I think the president, as he welcomes President Zelensky to the Oval Office tomorrow, and a whole cast of our allies in Europe that are going to be joining him, I think at the same time he ought to pick up the phone and ask Majority Leader John Thune to immediately pass the secondary sanctions bill that is supported by virtually everyone in the United States Senate. I think the combination of engagement, but also making it clear to Putin that we are prepared to take actions that would literally break his economy, even while we redouble our commitment to the...
Hasn't NATO staged troops outside NATO? Why wouldn't NATO forces in Ukraine be a certain deterrent on Russia? Had this happened before the invasion or post-peace? While are they joining NATO? I don't know what your question is. NATO troops in Ukraine would have probably stopped Russia from invading. Sure. Now you can't trigger Article 5 if you're getting attacked, if your troops are getting attacked outside of your country, right? So if French troops get attacked in the Middle East, then you don't get to trigger Article 5 for that. But it's not because they can't, it's just because they won't. The United States, I don't think, would agree to go toe-to-toe with Russia like that. We tend to avoid direct conflict with other nuclear powers, such that there's like a red phone, I think, it's described that way. I don't know if it's actually a red phone, that's connected from the White House to the Kremlin, where I think, pretty sure the president can pick up and check before we do operations sometimes. Where it's like, hey, you got anybody out there? We're operating in some region and we heard some shit and we're about to do some shit and we don't want to kill your motherfuckers if they're out there. You tell us it's clear, and like they'll communicate that way just to make sure that they avoid any kind of direct confrontation.
The security of Ukraine and to working closely with our European allies is important. Look, I said it before, I'll say it again. In the long history of the last 25 years, Putin has made it clear. He launched an attack into Georgia when President Bush was in office. He attacked Crimea and Ukraine when Obama was in office. After that disastrous withdrawal in Afghanistan, he crossed the border and started this war 3 years ago. Putin's made it no secret of the fact that he wants to reassert the old Soviet sphere of influence, what we used to call the evil empire in Eastern Europe. And I think Putin only understands strength. So while the president and his diplomatic team engage in this reapproach with Putin, and there seems to be interest, in my judgment, Putin's not going to stop until he's stopped, until he understands that there's going to be enormous cost to Russia, and there's an unflagging commitment to defending Ukraine's sovereignty by the United States and our allies.
But the French or UK would easily repel Russia with Ukraine, working bilaterally without NATO. I mean, easily, maybe. I don't know what their current like deployment military capabilities are for like long-term war. The thing is that like I feel like the United States logistics is such a backbone to all NATO forces that I don't know how well they could do it on their own. But also, the UK and France are both nuclear powers. So again, I don't think that they would want to directly fight with Russia. Just the whole world doesn't like it when nuclear powers fight. It's a thing that like it's just nobody likes that.
Is there any way? I mean, can you explain or do you understand at all how the summit could end without a ceasefire agreed to, and that would be acceptable? I mean, there are 5 Ukrainians who are now dead. I'm not blaming it on President Trump. It's obviously President Putin's fault. But if the ceasefire had happened on Friday, those 5 Ukrainians would be alive.
Well, your question in the last segment was relevant. There's a way that Putin can end the violence immediately, and that's with a ceasefire, but then move to negotiations. But look, when it ended and we all watched that press conference and it was clear there was no ceasefire, I must tell you that I was not surprised. I mean, there was an agreement by President Zelensky to a ceasefire back in February. Putin refused it. He's managed to delay the game. All the while, his military has continued its brutal assault on civilian populations in Ukraine. I think that's the reason why.
The ceasefire point is really important. Trump has done a total 180 after meeting Putin. No longer wants a ceasefire, but just jumps straight to the final deal. What does a peace negotiation with actively changing lines even look like? I wish I could convey how boring these conversations are when it comes to Trump and foreign policy. Do you ever, are you ever like really good at a thing? Like I'm trying to imagine you're like a StarCraft professional player, and no offense, everybody tries and that's great and everybody can be at their own skill level, but sometimes you get people in like Silver League who are trying to like theory craft like these master builds, and they're like, oh my God, what if you did like a 1-base fucking carrier rush? Like you could totally take a base, and it's like, there's like 20 million reasons why this wouldn't work. It's like, no, but what if you did? And it's like, nah, it's just not even worth debating because like the person doesn't even have the mechanics to execute what they think they could do, and it's just like there's so many, and it's just so dumb. Like when you're talking about the ceasefire and Trump backing off the ceasefire, like Trump never had any strong points about Ukraine at all. Period. He doesn't understand anything about the region. He doesn't understand anything about the conflict. He doesn't have any strong opinions about what the U.S. should even be doing internationally, let alone in Ukraine and Russia. It's not surprising that his feelings on things would change constantly, just based on the last person that he spoke with. He's just an idiot. I don't know how else to say that. I'm sorry. He's just not a very smart person, or at least he's not interested in this domain of knowledge, which is politics and all the subdomains there.
Look, let's have the dialogue tomorrow at the White House. I'm also going to be praying that it's a productive time.
God, look at this gaudy, disgusting. Jesus Christ. Oh, gold, 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 gold.
And a unifying time among all the leaders in the West and the president and President Zelensky.
I don't understand. What was Donald Trump's dad like? Donald Trump seems like new wealth. He acts like new money, like trailer trash that got rich, and he's just gaudy and tacky with everything. Was his dad the same way?
But at the same time, I've always said the United States posture on the world ought to be, one hand extended in friendship and diplomacy, and the other hand resting comfortably on the holster of the arsenal of democracy. I think Putin is only going to understand that there are going to be severe consequences, as the president promised, if there is no progress from here. The last thing we want to see is for Putin to use this latest delay as a reason to continue this war all the way until the winter hits and the fighting season essentially passes in that part of the world. We can't allow Vladimir Putin to run out the clock on the war in this year and in this season. We literally have to do both things, and that is the sanctions ought to be on the president's desk, available for his signature.
Oh my God, I hate that you just said that. I should fucking ban you. Oh, that's so fucking gross. You're so fucking right. He does it because it's the golden age of America. Oh God, that's so fucking gross. It's so cringe. I 100%. That's why. Has he said that before? That's why it's all gold, because of the golden age. It's like when I found out that the reason why Elon was jumping was to make the X so that he looks like an X when he jumps. Fuck.
Signature while negotiations begin. That's the most important way that we will ensure that there's real progress toward the peace agreement that the president has said is the ultimate conclusion.
Before you go, sir, here in Washington, D.C., President Trump has deployed the National Guard and other federal troops, ostensibly in response to emergency of lawlessness and high crime in D.C. I am curious what goes through your mind when you see the president aggressively pushing out the National Guard when he didn't do so on January 6, 2021, as the Capitol was under attack, a mob was trying to lynch you, and your family was in danger.
Well, January 6th was a tragic day. But I know we did our duty that day, and I wish the president would have done more. But I welcome his decision to deploy the National Guard and essentially federalize the D.C. Police Department. I know that it's all now working in a very cooperative way. Jake, if the District of Columbia was actually a state, it would have the highest homicide rate in the country. And this is where our national government has to be able to operate, where tens of thousands of people, you included, work every day. I think it's important what the president is doing. I fully support it, and I think the American people welcome the president taking decisive action to ensure the streets of our nation's capital are safe, and also continues to provide resources across the country to make all of our cities and towns and communities safe.
Former Vice President Mike Pence, thank you for joining us. Hope you and your family are thriving.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We talked a lot here on the show.
No.
Will the vice president be your running mate for 2020?
Well, I haven't asked him, but I hope so. Where are you? Mike, will you be my running mate? Huh? Stand up, Mike, please. Raise your right hand. No, I'm okay. Will you? Thank you. Okay, good. The answer is yes. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
What do you want?
Vice president be your running.
You've been shouting at me for 2 days. What?
I have.
Oh, you sound like a normal human being. What do you want? What?
All right, bro. I'm sorry. I've been pretty depressed since this whole Putin meeting, and one of the things that you said regarding the Russians' view on the war, I do disagree with. I think that Putin does not want an end to the war, like at all. Like it makes absolutely no sense per their economy, the way that it's currently structured. Sorry, I'm out of breath. A little nervous.
Good.
But
you should be.
Yeah, I am. Anyways, so complete war economy. Young people in Russia have three options: university, wartime factories, or basically nothing. Right? It's pretty bleak. Kazakhstan just passed Russia in average household GDP for the first time ever. Obviously, Central Asian country, completely landlocked, like absolutely fucked. Right? Yeah, man, it's not looking good. Moscow, St. Petersburg.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I don't think I necessarily disagree with what you're saying, but I feel like they want to get back to normal as soon as possible. Like the longer they drag this out, it's just going to delay the inevitable. Like they can't be a wartime economy forever, right?
You're correct, but I mean, right now it's an L, like complete L if Russia takes this deal.
What if they get
if they
get 22% of Ukraine's land? I feel like it's a pretty big W.
It's farmland. It's nothing. They got a land bridge and that's it. Like it's literally nothing. 200,000 dead Russian soldiers for nothing. They're gonna have all these factories are gonna close down. Mass unemployment. Hundreds of thousands of Russian soldiers are gonna be unemployed.
I mean, what would be if they take more? What would be more? Like, what do you mean? Like, what else could they get?
They need to achieve their primary goal of taking either all of Ukraine or seizing Odessa and creating a complete landlocked Ukraine. Besides that, it's a complete and total failure.
What is let me look where Odessa is.
It's southwestern Ukraine.
Oh, and cut them off completely from the Black Sea?
That was one of their initial goals. Besides seizing Kiev, was taking Odessa and landlocking Ukraine.
Why? What would that do? Wouldn't they would charge them a fee for shipping
They
stuff?
have complete
Or
control over the Black Sea and all the shipping routes, grain exports, all that kind of shit. Yeah, definitely not good. Like hundreds of thousands of unemployed Russians returning home from the war. Like, it's gonna get fucked. Russia.
I don't necessarily. I don't disagree with this. I just don't understand.
But here's the whole reason for the meeting, right? This whole peace meeting. I actually read this from a fucking Wagner account on Telegram.
Yeah.
Where the guy's like, this has nothing to do.
What does classical music have to do with this? I'm so confused right now.
Classical music, huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It has nothing to do with ending the war. The meeting was all about setting up the trade deals after the war, so that Russia has a soft landing economically.
Oh, I super disagree. I think that like in another world that could be it, but I think that if that was talked about, I think Trump would fucking blab it. I don't know if Trump is like that forward-looking.
That's the whole reason why all the Russian businessmen were at that meeting.
Were they?
Yes, tons of oligarchs were flown on the planes to Alaska with Putin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pretty fucked.
I guess I just don't know what the point is because nothing came from the meeting.
Yeah, nothing. Well, exactly, nothing peaceful.
Like I would imagine, regardless of whether the oligarchs showed up or not, like any ending deal for this war is 100% going to have is 100% going to involve like all the sanctions and everything getting lifted from Russia and probably some kind of trade thing, I would imagine, right? But I just
100%.
I don't know what's going on right now with the negotiations and with Trump. I don't know if I don't know fucking know. Okay, so you think for this to be a Russia W, if they capture the Odessa Oblast, it just sounds like such a mean word. Sorry. If they capture all of that, you think that all of a sudden this completely makes it worthwhile for them?
I believe so. Just because, like I said, they control all the Black Sea, all the grain exports, all that kind of stuff.
When you say control, you're saying that they would have to Ukraine would have to pay a fee for access to the Black Sea, basically.
Exactly.
And they would collect enough money from that now, just to make up for all of the.
Well, not necessarily money from that. They wouldn't be able to export through there. They'd have to do it all by land through Western Europe or Eastern Europe. Sorry.
I just don't see how this like offsets. Like you're telling me right now, if the war stops and they get all 5 oblasts, it's a disaster for them. But if they can just get the Odessa Oblast, all of a sudden it flips the whole thing, and now it's mathematically it's all justified.
It's not only that economically; it is also, like, I know I'm switching the argument, but it's also a huge cultural victory. Odessa is a huge cultural target for Russia. A historic city, very large ties in the Ukrainian culture. It would signal like such a huge achievement in the Russian population for the capture of that city. And right now that is Ukraine's only real water export town at the moment. So without that, they'd be completely fucked. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think as it stands right now, it's a total L by Russia to end the war at the moment. Makes no sense for them to want to end it right now. But I think they should, obviously. Like, I'm super pro Ukraine, but yeah, that's why I'm pretty black-pilled on it.
I feel like there might be an issue where, because at some point, they can't keep the wartime economy going on forever, right? At some point, the damage is going to start to mount, and then shit is going to death spiral hard.
Right.
And I don't know when they reach that point, I guess. If that point is like 10 years away, then I guess I would agree with you. If that point is like 1 to 2 years away, I don't know if I would agree with you, but I just don't know the fact of the matter there, I guess.
I don't think anybody would know either, other than, Putin and the higher ups over there, because it is it's not a normal country. It's an oligarchical run land, right?
But I think there's like external markers. There's still like external markers I think that people can use. Like, didn't they ban? I don't like to quote this because I don't keep up on this, but aren't you not allowed to convert like rubles to other currencies or whatever? Like they're forcing like all the currency holdings to. And then you can look at like the amount of stuff they're importing and. Okay.
Yeah, I think they only trade in rubles. Yep. So, I don't know.
Do you know what are they like still making like decent land gains or?
No, not at all. If you can look at a map between their holdings of 2023 to 2025, it's like absolutely nothing. And like I said, it's almost all farmland. Obviously, they've seized Bakhmut, which I think is the largest last city since then that they may have been able to take. They are making a steadward movement against the town of Pokrovsk, but it's going to take quite a while to secure that because it's a pretty fortified city. Other than that, there's some arguments that I've heard that people make too recently with the whole Boris Johnson 2022 peace agreement.
Oh my God.
So fucking stupid, man. Because that peace talks was in Turkey in spring of 2022, right when Russia got kicked out of Kiev and the Bucha massacre was discovered. So once that was discovered, fucking Ukraine had no obligation to partake in those peace talks. Like 500 civilians were murdered in that town.
I don't know what people think what peace agreement would have ever been made like at that point. I don't know if if the meme talking point is that Russia would have agreed to just completely forfeit the whole war and maybe just the Donbass would be independent autonomous territory. I don't know what people even think that deal would have been.
Also, right after, in late summer, early fall, Ukraine did go on a counteroffensive and seize back a ton of captured territory. So if Ukraine did go into this peace talks in spring of 2022, Ukraine would be a lot smaller than it is today. So I mean, Ukraine has done some successes.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Wait, repeat that.
Yeah.
Wait. You're saying that Russia had more territory back then than they do now?
Yeah, correct. Yes. Ukraine was able to push out the Russians from the Kiev region, and they were able to take back Kherson and Kharkiv in eastern Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So then there was also, they had the failed Zaporizhia counteroffensive in 2023. But hey, they learned a lesson from that, and they were able to take those lessons and put those towards Kursk, breaching the Russian border. Pretty based. Showed Russia's pretty weak guarding their territory.
Sure.
But yeah, obviously the Ukrainians did get pushed back from that. Probably should have withdrawn a lot earlier than what they did, but another lesson learned. So it's not like Ukraine is like completely...
hold on. This is way smaller than I thought it was. I'm sorry. I thought this was like in thousands. Okay, so this is showing that, I'm just looking at the change in territory. Well, this is saying, so like in March of 2025, they captured about 270 square kilometers of territory. But I guess, have they captured any major... Fuck, I wonder if I should actually learn all the cities and shit. Or not all the cities. They haven't captured any major cities in the the Zaporizhzhia Oblast and the I know they have Donetsk and Luhansk, but in the Zaporizhzhia,
They don't even have the city of Zaporizhia.
And then
they
the
have
other
nuclear
one,
power plant.
What's the other one?
And there's Kherson, which was controlled by Russia for a little bit, but they were able to seize it back, and it was an oblast capital, so it was a pretty big gain by Russia initially, and then a huge gain back, morale-wise, by Ukraine.
Okay.
So they really have not made any huge gains over like the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And Russian casualties now, because I think, not to sound schizo, but I have emailed you before about this. They are placed at now 200,000 confirmed dead, or relatively confirmed. Media Zona counts 120,000 Russian obituaries on Telegram and other social media websites. Then you have the Wagner forces in Bakhmut. Prigozhin leaked that 50,000 Russians have been killed fighting for that city.
Jesus.
That's Wagner forces alone, not Russian soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Then you also have the deaths of LPR and DPR soldiers as well. So we can add those all together and get about 200,000 dead.
Sure. LPR and DPR are going to be the, and then the Wagner group are going to be all these other kind of like quote unquote paramilitaries that they don't count in their official numbers, but for all intents and purposes, these are Russian soldiers.
Russian soldiers, right. Same thing with North Koreans. There's about 6,000 to 8,000 dead. Those are South Korean figures, so don't really know because it's obviously North Korea. So shit ton of people have died on the Russian side. A lot of people have died on the Ukrainian side as well. It's about, I think the high estimates are about a third and the low are about a quarter of all the Russian deaths. So.
Okay, am I retarded? Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Okay, sorry, fuck. I
mean, maybe, but so am I.
Oh, good one, bitch. I'm gonna fuck you in the. Never mind. Wait. Okay. If we like open our pocketbooks and if Ukraine had like unrestricted access to like Western armories, not even necessarily like military assistance, but just like arms and stuff, like is it reasonable to assume that they could indefinitely stave off Russian aggression and do so like in a way where
most likely, but there is a huge manpower disparity between the Russian and the Ukrainian side. Ukraine just doesn't have the manpower to fill up all the front lines, and that's why there was just a breakthrough in the Prokhorovsk direction. The gaps were just plugged by the notorious Azov Brigade. So recently, I mean, from what I saw, it's like for every, I don't know the metric of it, but every trench line is manned by like 4 fucking guys, Ukrainians. And the Russians are now literally just sending motorbikes across because of the drone warfare. It's too dangerous to send any armored vehicles. Second armored vehicle spotted, fucking 20 drones will come in and just destroy it. So best thing they can do now is localize like 4 to 5 man groups of motorcycles.
Gotcha. Ooh, you ever play a game called EVE Online?
I have.
You have?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, fuck.
Not very good at it.
Do you know what an Ishtar is?
Fuck no.
I don't know if
I did like mining shit, bro.
Oh my god. Okay, so then the answer is no. The meta for huge fleet combat used to just be drones, and it was just obnoxious as fuck. It was drones and bombers, because you could bring out all these expensive fleets, but you're like never ever ever in a position where your huge ass fucking fleet can like do work, because you're either getting picked off by stealth bombers that'll just blow all your shit up, or these huge like drone ships that'll just drop drones and run, and it's like so fucking annoying. You can't do anything. Like unironically, this whole Ukraine war shit feels a lot. It feels very similar to a lot of the most cancerous parts of the giant first fleet combat in
Bro, get all those
Eve.
EVE Online players, bro, and just put them on the fucking military command positions. Come on. It's time.
How do you think? I've seen the polling for the morale in Ukraine that it's dropped like quite a bit. Do you think that? What do you think the Russian morale is like for this?
Depends on where you are. If you're in Moscow and St. Petersburg, I mean, they are not affected at all by this war, and that's exactly what Putin wants. It's hard to say, man, because there's a YouTube channel, I forget what their name is, but they go around and do interviews with Russian citizens and you know, ask them questions. A lot of them, like in Moscow and St. Petersburg, would just go, you know, I'm non-political. I have no view on this war. Obviously, it's uploaded. So they're probably scared of giving a true opinion. I gotta say, there's probably people don't care because they're not really affected by it.
People not caring is a huge pro though for Putin, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's hard to look at the discrepancy in manpower because, like, I know that Russia has more citizens, but like, I think that if Russia were to start conscripting to the point to where it reaches your happy people in Moscow and St. Petersburg, that the feeling would change quite dramatically. But it sounds like Russia still has enough people to fight. Like, I hear so many different things. I hear like Ukraine has like 50-year-olds fighting because they don't want to recruit their young healthy people, but then I hear like Russia has like North Koreans fighting and like captured people that they forced back to the front lines. Like, what?
Which is also true.
So whose front lines are like doing, like who's healthier, you think, in terms of a conscription from a conscription point of view in your mind?
Man, both sides, this is like a war of like 40 and 50-year-olds fighting each other, to be honest. The 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds are not really seen. Russian conscripts, you know, they do conscripted service. Those guys are sent to like, I don't know, Sevastopol, you know, way on the fucking side of Russia.
Real quick, that Ruteg or whatever?
Sorry, that's Crimea, my bad.
Is that the Ruteg guy from the NATO? He's a Dutch guy?
Ooh, I don't know who this is.
Is it Mark Rutte? What's the guy is the guy next to him Dutch? Look, this is what I mean, guys. I wasn't joking when I said this. These guys are freakishly fucking tall. Every person, dude, I almost fell when I went to the bathroom when Melina, I think we went to the gym or whatever when we were in Amsterdam, and I went to the male bathroom and the urinal was like fucking, I felt like I was like a little kid in like the adults bathroom. It was insane. Oh, second left guy is German. I mean German, Danish, or Dutch. It's enough crossover. These people are freakishly tall. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some weird shit going on over there. It's all the bike riding they do. Okay. Sorry. You need to look at the demographic chart for Ukraine and Russia. The reason the soldiers are so old is because the population in general is old. Well, I don't think that matters that much. I think it's more so like, who are you willing to draft, right? I'm sure there are a lot of young people in Russia that could draft, but and then Ukraine doesn't want to sacrifice all their young people.
They don't want to, exactly. Because you would have a generation of men that's just devastated by war, especially in such a high casualty conflict. I understand that, you know, but at the same time, they don't have the manpower. They need to do something. Because Russia can just throw, you know, their 40 and 50-year-olds from bumfuck nowhere Siberia into the front lines and send them on motorcycles to just get FPV droned and fucking blown up.
Oh my God. You know, it would be so fucking base, but literally nobody would do it.
Yeah.
Imagine if you made, oh my God. We have an ally that could do work in Ukraine. You know this, right? Who is it?
An ally that can do work in Ukraine?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Fucking Israel. They're not in NATO. It's a non-NATO country. We're giving them all this money for their air missile defense systems. We should tell these motherfuckers that we're going to keep, funding their shit. They have to help Ukraine set up some of their shit to protect their cities.
Think about it. Denazifying Ukraine. How can they do that if it's full of Israelis?
True!
Come on, man. That could work.
That would be base as fuck.
Right there.
Oh my God.
That's the solution.
Yeah, dude, tankies would lose it. True.
They would.
Damn. Okay. I feel like every time I hate the media on this war because I feel like I've had this like 3 times to where I feel like it's going worse. It feels like lab leak. Like it feels like worse and worse for Ukraine. And then when I actually ever check the maps or the numbers, it's actually nowhere near as hopeless or as dire as I feel like everybody makes it sound like these Latin guys are nothing. Yeah. Or like the fact that yesterday, I think I found out that like
random farmland.
Yeah, they would have had to ask for, like if they were to settle up right now with their current oblasts, they would have to request more land from Ukraine to make it worth it because they haven't even conquered all of these. Like there are only really two that they have the majority of, or a ton of.
And the Donetsk land that they're trying to request too is some of the most fortified and heavily defended lines that Ukraine has had. I mean, it's land that they've literally controlled since 2014. So if they give those up, that's some of their best positions, best fighting positions that they just cede to the Russian.
Does that have the airport that they fought over so much around like Minsk and Minsk or whatever?
Airport.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I remember reading a lot about that back and forth.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, Ukraine even did some small localized counter assaults or, counterattacks against that airport. But now, I mean, they've been able to push pretty far west of that location.
It's kind of crazy that. Well, this is random. I remember that fucking civilian airliner that got shot down. Over.
MH17.
Yeah, Jesus. Just by almost certainly by Russians, right? It was an accident. I don't think they were trying to intentionally.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think they were trying to intentionally murder people. But
accident.
Jesus.
Correct. It was manned and operated by Russian soldiers. Yep. So. Yeah, I mean, Ukraine just they just need to hold on, man.
For what? 4 more years or 3 more years until we get another president?
Here's the thing: the Afghan Soviet War was one of the largest errors by the Soviet Union, right? Now, to put it into perspective, how many USSR soldiers died in that war?
Yeah, but I think that was different because we were fighting the Cold War, so we were all in backing like the Mujahideen and shit in Afghanistan. We were super on board with that.
That is true. But 4 times as many Russians have died in Ukraine than in Afghanistan. 50,000 USSR soldiers died. So, just put that into perspective.
Well.
But yeah. Well, you got nothing else for me. I'll just head out.
Okay. Have fun. Be careful. Oh, I see those little clown things.
Thanks.
Be careful.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye. It's kind of funny that we like found our way back to trench warfare from World War I.